All right, hello and welcome. Today we're going to be breaking down the submachine gun classes. What is the best submachine gun and what is best for you? Because there's a variety of different styles to play within these that are very important to pay attention to. All right, let's go. First and foremost, there's very balanced submachine guns that will allow you to use it somewhat like an assault rifle where you can get medium range stability and damage. Then there's the submachine guns where you're going to be running and gunning and it's mostly up close and personal. Then there's everything in between. We're going to start off with the two top tier must try and must play with, and then you come back and say, yo, thanks for the recommendations. As you can see right here, I'm using the Wasp, aka WSP Swarm. This bad boy right here destroys. It's powerful. It is just a special weapon in my opinion, and you definitely want to give it a go. It has so much variety to it. It's just so dynamic, and I couldn't even begin to tell you how good this bad boy is. And I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole to discuss the attachments and everything because there's other videos that I have about builds breaking that down. But I will just say, focus on your mobility, focus on your ADS. You want to give it a little bit of range, but it's good enough and it's going to handle well. And this is possibly the best TTK, one of the best, and overall when it comes to damage, range, a little bit of everything. You need to be able to have time to kill. You need to have some decent range with a sub. Of course, the mobility and ADS so that you can run and gun. And that's important. Okay, that's number one. Number two, right next to it, and arguably even better, is the SWP9. These two are relatives, I guess. And the SWP9 is the one that I'm personally using with this specific build and playstyle that I'm doing. And I absolutely love it. It is a beamer. I mean, you want to put on that 50 mag first of all to make sure you're good to go. I don't use a scope, and I just add extra elements to my ADS, my movement speed, a little bit of my range, and my recoil control, and I'm able to lock it down and lock it in. This is the best, in my opinion, two specific play styles that are similar, but again, you try both of them out, you'll see which one you can control better, which one you feel better with. They have the same similar playstyle where they can hit some medium range shots, but they're going to destroy and melt people in close range proximity. All right, now I wanted to take a moment and take a break to give you guys the submachine guns that's more balanced, where you can actually use it for some mid-range attacks. It has a stable recoil and things like that. All right, the striker is top tier. It can be used somewhat like an assault rifle. Let's just say you want to pull out a sniper or something like that, and you want to have this as your secondary. It can be very, very stable when it comes to having a sub that isn't the best when it comes to TTK. You're not going to have the fastest, but the recoil is so good you won't miss your shot. So that's where I was trying to explain. Some of these weapons are a lot faster when it comes to time to kill, but your aiming might suffer. And that's where the striker has the most balanced version of it. And this is up to you when it comes to if you feel comfortable playing with that play style, and then we'll go from there. But guess what? I want to talk about what I think is the best weapon in the game if you can handle it, and it's very difficult to handle. I'm going to be honest. I have it right here and I will show you the full loadout. If you didn't skip through this video, here you go. Personally, no scope on a lot of weapons for me lately because I want to use other elements to boost up some of the stats and things like that. Very critical to do that, in my opinion. So when you look at this bad boy right here, it has everything you need. The ISO 9mm. Guess what? This shreds. This is the highest TTK, but you won't be able to hit medium range shots too much compared to the other ones that I've just talked about. So you're going to have to use this only up close, pretty much 10 meters or so, and you'll be able to do some damage. Remember, there's a time to kill. There's a range the damage range will drop off depending whether it's 15, 20 meters. And this is why I'm recommending this one last. This is like a skill-based player who wants to be able to really run and gun and get in your face and just not give you a chance to breathe, spray you down, hit some other player, and you can get very toxic with it. And it's a fun way to play. I absolutely love it. But this is a specific play style depending on what game mode you're doing and what type of play style. For me, for example, when I put this on, I'm always around buildings. I'm always in cover. I'm not going to be out in any open area. You shouldn't be out in open area anyways, but there are certain weapons that allow you, for example, holding a rooftop the whole game, or out in a giant tower where you're things like that. That is not going to be for this weapon unless you want it as a secondary, but it's not going to be as useful. Okay, if I'm using a sniper, I tend to have a rifle or something that can use medium range, also help me finish off enemies. And that's why, you know, I would recommend the ISO if you're up in people's faces. Your secondary has to be another up in people's faces sometimes. So that is the general breakdown on the key for the 4 that I think are great. Some honorable mentions that we're going to get into here, and there's plenty of fun ways to play. Don't get it twisted. This meta might change as we go. The Rival 9, another one of those weapons that has a really decent overall ability to be flexible. And then the last one, which I actually really love, the Bass P, not the B, the Bass P. I feel like this weapon is a slept on weapon, and it is one of the most fundamental in the game as well. So those are the key. Now, just to wrap it up one more time to make it real quick and simple for you guys, you want to pull out the Wasp, right? Whether it's the Wasp Swarm or the Wasp 9. Right, pull those 2 out. You're gonna see that you're gonna be performing better when it comes to SMGs. Right. Then if you're saying, hey, I want more of a medium range, a stable weapon that's not gonna have a lot of recoil, and I can hit a little bit further down the distance, and there you go with a striker. Top tier stuff. The ISO is really in your face. You got to be a movement god type of player, and you're gonna be setting things up. ISO 9mm. All right. That is how that works, and I wanted to keep these videos a bit short, but I am going to go into my Wasp because this Wasp 9 is crazy. And so I like to put this on, and this is a top secret fun fact here. So I like to put on these ammunition. All right, this is not necessary, and this is more testing, and there's a lot of different ammunition types that you could get into. For snipers, I'm putting on explosives, but when it comes to SMGs, I like to put on over pressure. The reason why, if I'm in your face and you're going to shoot me and I hit you with this, guess what? If you look at the stats, it says 80% target flinch. What does that mean? That means that they will be, if you ever get shot and you wonder why you're flinching and you can't shoot back normal, well, this is it right here. This is going to give you that jitter. And it's the way I like to do with submachine guns. If I can afford it, I decided no optic so that I could have this. But let's just say I'm going to move this around, take a screenshot of this, erase the ammunition because you don't need it. You want to put the optic on because you feel more comfortable when you're shooting. I totally get that, and I tend to do that as well. All right. With that in mind, the nose stock is pretty basic. You're going to get faster movement, walking, ADS, and sprint to fire a lot faster as well. So that's the only reason the nose stock is in there. And then of course the 50 mag, because you want to be able to lay down multiple players. I laugh because I've been able to take out full squads, well, 3 players with that mag, and probably more if I hit my headshots more, right? And then of course the underbarrel. Only reason I have this here is for the recoil, the vertical, and some movement, of course, and some walking speed. This is pretty nice. You don't have to put this on. You can change it up. Personally, that's what I love. And then the Colossus. The reason I have the Colossus, it has recoil control. It's like, okay, wow. I usually get the suppressor. I can easily just get a no detection right here with the shadow strike, but I'm adding recoil control because this gun does kick, and I can change that up and throw in another barrel when it comes to, oh, I don't want to use a suppressor, I don't need it. I like it because I like to move around the map and not be detected as much as possible. And then from there, we're not going to go into the full build because we'll be here all night, but that is the SMG. We do have other builds. We're doing a whole series about the best in class is what we're calling it. And it's basically for the submachine guns, assault rifles, and all of that good stuff. We'll get into perks and all that in the other videos as well. Go check out everything in the channel right now. We appreciate you guys. Y'all stay blessed out there. Peace.